What's up everybody, Americana back here with another video. Everybody wants to know, do altcoins reach their peak at different times or do they top with Bitcoin? Let's clear up the confusion because understanding this can save your portfolio. So let's get into the video. All right guys, on chart here we have a few different things. We have Luna in blue, we have Ethereum, I guess I don't need to add it. It was in green, but we can just keep it in the candle bars. And then we have Chainlink in orange here. All right, so I do want to let you know, like there is outliers. Terra Luna topping in here on the kind of this leg of the Bitcoin run, also with no other altcoins at all, right? Ethereum topped in here and then Chainlink topped over here, but Luna's kind of just out here by itself. So this is a possibility. There are outliers. There are exceptions to this rule of everything topping together or altcoins topping together. So I do want to preface that, but we're going to get into it in this video, how you actually need to think about it, how you should actually treat it, just to be a little bit safer, more conservative, and actually make sure you're taking profits this cycle. All right, so if I was to answer this question 100% truthfully, no, not all altcoins top together. All right, technically speaking. But for you, if you're watching this video, you should treat it as yes, these altcoins do top together, because 99% of them, 90% of them will say, end up topping together or within, a month, weeks of each other, things like that, right? So on here we have Ethereum Classic, which was a banger for me last cycle. I think we also have, what do we have? Chainlink in green, or Chainlink in blue, and Cardano in green. So you can see Cardano went on to kind of create a new little peak here on this move, while altcoins like Ethereum Classic and Chainlink topped literally to the day of each other, same week as each other, things like that. And 90% of these altcoins from 2021 topped in May of 2021 together. Even fewer percent of them went on to go make new highs, which is like Solana, maybe a few other ones. And then like we showed at the beginning of this video, in here, very rare to see any altcoin make a new high. Luna is one of the very few exceptions that I can see here. And that also was right before it dropped 99% and went to zero. So take that for what it's worth. But like I said, 90% of, if you go pull up these charts and just go pull up a list of your favorite altcoins, Doge, whatever have you, 90% of them are going to have topped together in May of 2021. And that's how you need to treat it. Okay, when you see euphoria across the altcoin market and you see 90% of coins taking off together, ripping together, you know you're in some type of euphoric phase. At this time too, we were also getting into the fib extensions for Total 2 and Total and things like that. So very clear sign that some sort of top was coming in. We ended up having the double top for Bitcoin, which we simply just do not have time for this cycle. So I don't think we'll actually have this same dynamic. I think it'll be much more aligned with something like this, or like 2017, where literally, like I said, every single altcoin was ripping together. I probably should have showed some examples from 2017. I didn't have that in my script, so I will avoid it for now. But it was even more apparent in 2017 that a lot of this stuff topped together. All right, and the second half of the question, so the question kind of had two different parts to it. It was, do altcoins all top together? And then on the other hand was, do these altcoins that top together top with Bitcoin? The answer for does it top with Bitcoin is absolutely yes. I know there's a little bit of nuance and like, hey, some altcoins top here, some altcoins top here, but for you, just treat it as like they're all going to top together because 90% of them do. So there's a little bit of nuance there. But when it comes to Bitcoin, everything's going to top out with Bitcoin. Luna, again, rare case, topped over here. This is Ethereum and Solana, some pretty big majors pulled up on here. And then if we bounce back to this chart, this is Cardano topping in here. This is Ethereum Classic going in for a little retrace before it kind of topped out. And then same with Chainlink in here and before it topped out as well. So all of these things do top together in the sense of with Bitcoin. And that's because the only reason that there's altcoin season going on, alt season going on, is because there's a massive amount of excess liquidity in the system looking for more and more and more risk. Bitcoin is already the kind of sponge of the financial system in soaking up extra liquidity as it is a store of value. Okay, so if the stock market is, people have put as much money in the stock market as they want to put in, people have put as much money in bonds, metals, all these things, and there's still extra money, then that money will go into Bitcoin. Okay. So if Bitcoin's liquidity is drying up in the sense of it's going to find a top, altcoins are going to be the first to get decimated. Altcoins are going to be the first signal, or the first, I guess, victim of this liquidity in Bitcoin drying up. So just like we always talk about in crypto, Bitcoin is going to lead. Bitcoin's job is to literally soak up any extra liquidity within the financial system. So if there's no more extra liquidity to soak up, then there's damn sure no extra liquidity for altcoins. Do you guys see what I'm kind of saying there? So when it comes to Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's topping out, your altcoins are fucked. They're topping out, right? End of story. Now, whether these altcoins topped over here together, which I think we'll see this cycle because we simply don't have time for that kind of double top situation, then it's a good time to be getting out of the market if you're seeing signs of a Bitcoin top. But I think that is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and pop out, hit this outro real quick. This question actually came from somebody in my Discord. Right? I was a little bit short on, I feel like we've kind of been hitting the same points over and over again. We're watching the same macro charts over and over again. We got through the liquidations. Right? So I was kind of like, yo, I need some video ideas. What questions do you guys have? So hopefully this is a question that a lot of others had, or something that you guys would at least be like, hey, that's interesting. That's good to know. And if you guys have questions, for real, if you guys have questions and it is a good question that I think, one, a lot of people will also have questions about, and two, I think can be supported by data, or I actually know what I'm talking about to answer it, then I will make an entire video on it. I would love to. It helps me out for you guys to have questions, because you guys are my ideal target for who is going to watch and benefit from these videos. So the same questions you guys have will help me across every single video. I can dive into it, get it answered for you guys. Just give me a week to 2 weeks to get it done and out and filmed and all that. Besides that, if you guys are patient, I'll definitely get them answered. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you continue to subscribe, free Discord in my bio, free materials in my bio, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.